Well, before I even actually start the video, I just want to say thank you to all of those who took time to wish me a happy birthday. I really appreciate it. I was overwhelmed by the number of people. I mean, it was amazing. I didn't count them, of course, but it was a lot, in the hundreds. Anyway, the title for the video for the 23rd is Rule of Law is Meaningless. First, I was extremely disappointed, though not surprised, that the promised announcement of the restoration of the U.S. Republic did not happen. Second, I watched the Julian Assange rally outside the Ecuadorian Embassy in London, in which the moderator rightly blasted the criminal alliance of the U.S., Great Britain, Canada, Australia, and the others who think they are above the law. I keep returning to the same question. When will the universal law, which is also documented in many international laws, be enforced? Without enforcement from the higher levels, God included, there is no rule of law. It is meaningless. Folks, I'm tired and my body literally ached before I even got out of bed this morning. My mind is troubled and my spirit is crushed. How long will this debacle be allowed to continue unabated? Give me liberty or let me die. Indeed, I was looking forward with a level of hopefulness that the promised announcement of the U.S. Republic was going to be made on my birthday. That would have been a birthday gift that would have just, taken me to a whole new level of elation. However, as with previous expectations, the disappointment followed because the promises were not fulfilled. There's a scripture in the Bible that says that all these died in the faith, receiving not the promises. How long do we have to suffer? How long does humanity have to pay for Adam eating the tree of the apple from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil? How long are we going to be made enslaved by a barbaric system run by it was originally a priestcraft, but now it's a political class of bankers and other elitists that think they have the right to run the world, and they don't obey the law. They don't obey their own laws. They consider themselves above the law. We know the names of some of these people. Some of them are in the political forefront around the world, and yet they're not brought into accountability by anyone. They're allowed to run roughshod over human rights. They're allowed to kill, steal, and destroy people's lives, even while we're still alive. Even if they let us keep living, like they for some reason, I'm still alive at 70 years old. And yet, they've stolen my house. They've stolen my dignity. They've stolen everything, even though they had no lawful authority to do so. But the lawful authority means nothing to these people. They are criminals of the highest and worst kind and have to be brought. If there's going to be justice, if there's going to be peace on earth, they have to be brought into accountability some way, one way or another, including the unseen realm, the non-manifest realm that's responsible for all this terrible debacle of human culture that they have infested the earth with. I don't want to escape earth. I want to see earth transformed. But it can't be transformed if people can violate the law with impunity. And that's the way the system is set up to work. The people that are the worst criminals are at the top of the pile. Folks, what do we have to do? What do we have to do to get God to finally take responsibility for God's creation. And you say, well, Ron, but God didn't do it. Well, I'm sorry. If there is no God, then then my whole life has been an anomaly, because I believed in God since I was a little boy. I never questioned it. I didn't really, there were things that I questioned, but even now, I don't question the existence of God. I question the will of God. Does he have a will to actually do right? Is God willing to redeem his creation? I don't mean by believing in Jesus. That's bullshit. I've believed in Jesus my whole life. I believed that Jesus was coming again. I believed the kingdom of heaven was going to be established. 2011, 2012. I believed that thing. So that's why I started doing videos, because I believed it was imminent. And I continue to do videos. I continue to try to put forth what little faith I have left. But I'm running out of faith. And as I said, my body this morning, when I woke up a few times in the night, and I was hurting in the middle of the night. My body aches. Why? Somebody said, you've got to think positive thoughts. Well, how do you think positive thoughts unless you're lying to yourself, convincing yourself of that something's true that has no basis in your actual experiential reality? I've done that. I've been there, folks. I've played that game. It doesn't work. What works? What actually works? I don't want to die and go to heaven. As I've said before, if I die and go to heaven and God doesn't keep his promises, I'm going to go right to God. And if he has a face, I'm going to punch him in it, because I'm sick and tired of unfulfilled promises. I'm sick and tired of laws that are good laws. Do unto others as you would have others do unto you. In whatever way you treat another, that's how you're supposed to be treated. But it doesn't work for the people that are the most violent criminals and the most sadistic beings anywhere. The Luciferians, or whatever you want to call these demonic entities that are both in and out of human form. What can we do as humanity? I know there's lots of people praying. I know there's differences of opinion on how it's supposed to be. But again, the central core, and I'll keep coming back to it, is to love one another. By this shall men know that you're my disciples, that you love one another. And if you only love those that are in your group, you're no different than anybody else. Everybody likes people that agree with them. I've tried to reach out to people that were different than me. I've set my whole life in trying to build bridges and not walls, to take down the barriers. I've dedicated my life for 70 years. Of course, I wasn't aware of it when I was baby, but I wasn't very old. I wasn't 10 years old yet. I wasn't probably any more than, as I've said, 7 or 8 years old, when the realization came to me that something was happening inside. I was becoming aware of things beyond what I was being taught. I was being taught things, but even beyond that, there was a dimension that was touching my life, touching my soul, touching my being. And I felt early on that I had a purpose, early on. Anyway, I'm tired, I'm frustrated, and right now my body doesn't hurt, but once I get moving around, or actually I'm sitting, but once I get up, the pain seems to dissipate. It doesn't continue all the time, except in my feet. Anyway, pray for me, pray for one another. Pray that God will finally start doing something that is tangible and real for the benefit of his own creation. Thank you for listening, and namaste.